Hey, welcome. There's this question that I think pops into all of our heads at some point. Am I actually making any progress in my life? It's a tough one, right? Because it's not always obvious if you're really moving forward. So today, let's dig into what the real signs are. And this right here, this feeling is so common. When those typical goalposts, the career, the money, whatever, aren't moving, it is so easy to feel like you're just stuck, treading water. But what if? What if forward isn't what we've been told it is? Okay, so this is really the heart of the problem, right? Society hands us this pre-made checklist for what success is supposed to look like. But real progress, that's way more personal. It's not about ticking off someone else's boxes. It's about something called alignment. That amazing feeling when who you are on the inside starts to match up with what you're doing on the outside. That is what moving forward really feels like. And this quote really nails it. We're pretty much programmed to think that feeling confused or uncomfortable means we failed, that we're going backward. But what if that's completely wrong? What if those feelings are actually the very signals that you're evolving? What if that's literally what transformation feels like while it's happening? All right, so with that in mind, let's get into the good stuff. We're going to dive into 8 quiet strengths that prove you're absolutely moving forward, even when it totally doesn't feel like it. Now, these aren't the kind of things you'd list on your resume, but trust me, they are the real foundation of a meaningful life. Okay, strength number 1. And this one might throw you for a loop at first. You feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little scared. I know, it sounds totally backward, right? But that feeling of fear, it's actually a huge signal that you're pushing past your comfort zone, stretching beyond your old limits. That's where the real growth happens. Think about it. When your old familiar routines start to feel tight, like a shirt that's too small, it means you've outgrown them. That little jolt of fear you get right before you try something big and new, that's not a stop sign telling you to turn back. It's a signpost pointing you forward. That discomfort, that's the feeling of courage and action. It's not failure. All right, number 2 is a huge shift in perspective. It's when you notice you're no longer constantly looking for validation from other people. Instead, you're starting to trust your own gut, your own inner compass. This is a sign you're becoming way more grounded and secure in who you are. I mean, sure, a compliment still feels good, right? But it doesn't define you anymore. You know in your bones when you've done something well. And that quiet, solid confidence? That's a massive sign of progress. Okay, strength number 3. This one is a total game changer. You start setting boundaries, even when it's tough. And let's be clear, this isn't about putting up walls to keep people out. It's more like installing a filter to protect your own energy, your peace, your well-being. Every time you set a boundary, you're sending a powerful message to yourself that says, hey, my needs matter. It's a profound act of self-respect. Yeah, it can feel super awkward at first, but it's an absolutely essential step if you want to build a life that is truly yours. All right, let's talk about number 4. This is where your growth can really accelerate. It's that moment you have a huge mindset shift. You stop looking at mistakes as failures and start seeing them as data, just pure information. When you can mess up, take a step back, and genuinely ask, okay, what did I learn from that? Instead of beating yourself up, you're building serious resilience. This mindset, it gives you the freedom to try things, to experiment, and to evolve one lesson at a time. Okay, number 5 can be tough. I mean, this can be one of the most painful parts of growth, but it's also one of the most freeing. As you change and evolve, you start to realize that, not everyone and not everything can come with you on the next chapter of your journey. Now, this isn't about being cold or abandoning people. It's about alignment. It's about choosing to be authentic to who you're becoming, even if some people don't quite get it. When you let go, you're not punishing the past. You're making space for a healthier future. Strength number 6 is so important. It's about practicing self-compassion. You know that kindness and understanding you give so freely to your friends? It's about time you started turning that inward, toward yourself. This is a huge, foundational sign of emotional maturity. Let's be real. Most of us are our own worst critics. So learning to offer yourself a little bit of grace after you stumble, it's a total game changer. It's what builds that foundation of self-love, which helps quiet the anxiety and gives you the strength to get back up and keep going. All right, number 7. This one is subtle, but it is incredibly powerful. You start to notice a shift in where you're putting your energy. It's like you stop trying to push a boulder uphill, complaining about stuff you can't control, and you start focusing on what you can control, your own actions and your own responses.
Seriously, when you stop pouring all that energy into things you have zero control over, you take your power back. You're making a massive shift from just reacting to everything life throws at you to being proactive. That is a huge, huge step towards self-mastery. And that brings us to our final strength. Number 8, you start investing in real self-care. And no, I'm not just talking about bubble baths and spa days, although those are great too. Real self-care is less about a temporary treat and way more about building a life that you don't feel the need to constantly escape from.
It's the daily, kind of boring, unglamorous choices. It's fueling your body with decent food. It's moving your body. It's actually letting yourself rest without feeling guilty about it. It's an act of self-respect, really. It's you telling yourself every single day that you matter.
Okay, so we've gone through all 8 of these quiet strengths. That's great, but how do you actually start to see them in your own life? I mean, especially when you're right in the middle of all the chaos and it feels like nothing's changing.
Well, here are 3 really simple steps you can take. First, try some reflection. Maybe journal a little bit about your feelings or small wins. You'll start to see patterns. Second, reframe those setbacks. Instead of thinking, I failed, try asking, okay, what did I learn? And third, and this is so important, just acknowledge your own consistency. Celebrate the simple act of showing up for yourself, because that right there, that is progress.
At the end of the day, just remember this. Progress isn't always a big, loud fireworks display. A lot of the time, it's quiet. It unfolds in all these small, subtle ways. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What quiet progress have you made today? Take a second to really think about it. The answer might just surprise you.